Hey guys, it's me. This is UPBL Week 2 versus from last week. Well, because we beat Brian last week. So we're both coming off W's, obviously looking to both go 2-0, stick above that 500 mark. So, yeah, you can see the 6 that he brought. He brought a lot of the things I expected, but his full team is basically Aegislash, Terrakion, Serena, Torkoal, Miltank, Ice Cube, plus obviously the 6 he brought. I expected everything except for Necrozma and Vikavolt. I had predicted Aegislash and Terrakion over them. Terrakion, I felt like... Okay, so Terrakion was like the thing that was a problem, except I had a Serena that actually kind of dealt with... Or not Serena, Tangela, that kind of just managed it altogether. But it's still relatively good, again, outside of Tangela. And you could probably Toxic Tangela anyway, therefore something like SD Terrakion could probably break through, maybe, or even like Banded Terrakion could work as well. The Aegislash with like the special, the spec set with Head Smash kind of kills everything on my team. So, or even just like physical, but physical is more managed from Tangela. So I don't know how I feel about the physical, but like special. Specs and with Head Smash kind of bopped me. He has to make one play on the Mandibuzz and well, kill everything. Even if I go like Heliolisk, which I guess is the mid ground that takes both, it doesn't take Head Smash either, so here we are. So I feel like them two are over Necrozma and Vikavolt, but it's not necessarily bad that he brought them. I don't think it's bad for him that he brought them either, but as you're saying, what I predicted. Anyway, basically our build is Specs Dragapult, Spadef Mandibuzz, Specs Salazzle, Life Orb Vortex Heliolisk, Defensive Tangela, and then Rotom Frost with Wisplet, Rotom Frost with enough speed for Adamant Mammo. And the rest is max HP and then 52 defense bold. But anyway, yeah. So, looking at this matchup, I'm not 100% on the sets, but Life Orb Clef would be a huge problem for me. Moonblast Psychic. Moonblast Psychic is really all he needs necessarily. He does have fire coverage, but he doesn't necessarily need it. Like, if from the 6 that I brought, Moonblast Psychic covers literally everything. So, he could be Soft Boiled or Calm Mind last. Or Soft Boiled or Calm Mind last. And, well, then we have an issue. But, he has multiple rockers, so I'm not 100% on which one it is. Obviously, he could be Rock's Clef, Rock's Mammo, or Rock's Necrozma. Necrozma, I'm expecting more of an autotomized weakness policy set because it can maybe manage Mandibuzz, unlike something like Calm Mind could also manage it, but Foul Play is still doing a chunk, so it's not the easiest thing, and with only 8 PP on your recovery, it's not all too great, but I think Calm Mind could also be an option. But anyway, Jerbion could be SD or T-Spikes. It's probably SD if it's Webs Vikavolt, which I'm assuming Vikavolt is like last move Webs, just because you only need T-Bolt, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz, really. And then, or if you wanted to run like Thunder Wave last, could also be cool for like Pult pivoting in. Quag could be Spadef. I'm expecting a Spadef set, but it also could be physically bulky. Not 100% on that. Mammo is probably Life Orb, but it could also be Banded. It could also be Sash Lead. I doubt it, because look at Mammo, look at my team. Mammo with Stone Edge has super effective coverage versus legitimately every member on my team. But, and Vikavolt actually a really big problem as well, because Dragapult can only swap in so many times before it does not appreciate the move coming out. But anyway, looking at this matchup, the Salazzle is going to click buttons, but Quagg's the annoying one. I originally had Toxic on Salazzle, but I changed it last minute to Flamethrower, or I believe it was Flamethrower. But no, I think I changed it. No. I changed either it to either Fire Blast or Flamethrower. Overheat basically gives me that just heavy hit on anything, obviously with the punishment of lowering my special attack by 2. Fire Blast again is strong, not as strong as Overheat, but also it's it's less accurate, but it doesn't lower my special attack. Therefore, it's a bit more spammable if Flame can't get those 2 KOs. But Flame is fine if it gets 2 KOs and everything. Therefore, each one has its merits, and Flame's 100% accurate, but it's weaker. And then obviously, Fire Blast, the accuracy is the issue, but I don't know. It's also not as strong as Overheat, so you know, each one is it's not very situational really. Most of the time I'm clicking Overheat, to be honest, just because you need to nab the OHKOs. But even like 2 KOs with Flame, because everything dies to Flamethrower on this team. It's 2 KO'd by me, except for Quag. Quag is the annoying one. That's why I really wanted to have Toxic, but I changed it last minute because I wasn't 100% on Quag coming, and Toxic was useless outside of Quag. But in hindsight, I definitely should have had Toxic still. Probably over Flame. Just risk the accuracy. But hindsight's 2020. Mandibuzz here specifically for Necrozma, really. Doesn't match up all too well outside of that. Pult's gonna click buttons in general, but Clef, if it's Spadef, then it needs to be Toxic, so I can click Hex on it and add the easy to a KO. Rotom is specifically here for Mamoswine. Heliolisk is relatively good, but could be better. I believe that is it. And then Tangle's here. It's just gonna be a nice little pivot around. It can also pivot into Mamoswine pretty relative. I know it's not 2 KO'd by anything except an offensive boosting item. So, like best Choice Scarf or Sash, it doesn't 2 KO me actually. I think it does like 45 maximum. I think. I don't remember the calc. This match is from a little bit ago. But, the Tanglet in general is just gonna be nice for pivoting into like something like Quag. But yeah, so lead preview. I believe my Salazzle, because Salazzle matches up well versus everything except for Quag and maybe Necrozma. Necrozma I'd probably still swap out on, even though Overheat could blow that thing away. As he leads his Quag, a good lead on hit the Easy Bakes part, just because it covers my Salazzle, which it matched up well on the lead in general, just because Tangela lead was unlikely, and even Pult lead. I feel like Pult lead though would have been nice, but I think his thought process was he still had a full HP, non-status Clef, who would obviously take hits relatively well. So, and he still had like a Drapion, so it forced me to make a play, and he matched up. Even he could take a hit, depending on his set, from Pult and just recover it off as well. So, obviously I'm forced out here. I just go my Tangela as a Toxic with turn 1. So Toxic, Tangela has been poisoned turn 1, which is not that great, but Tangela obviously forces a swap here. I believe I just knock. I do knock covered Clef, and it covered Drapion, so I was fine with just covering that mid ground, and then I knock off his Life Orb, which is kind of what I expected, but here I think I just go for I go hard Salazzle because he can't really touch me. He Moonblast is 13. He gets a special attack drop. That was actually annoying because it meant he could stay in. I think I still doubled the Tangela. I do. As they throw off a Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is annoying because, again, I actually predicted there. So had I not predicted, I didn't predict Thunder Wave. I predicted Quagsire coming in. So again, had I not predicted Quagsire, then my Salazzle would be paralyzed here, and that would be detrimental for Salazzle. But here, I just go Tangle. Here, I just raw Toxic because this means my Hex is stronger with Pult. Here, I think I just go hard Helios, covering the T-Wave, as he does T-Wave there. I get that play properly. Really good play on my part. Just because I feel like Salazzle was really obvious there, but I did not want to get Thunder Wave, and Helios lived in Moonblast anyway. And T-Bolt Scout's House is set a little bit better, so I wasn't staying here. I think here's where I Volt Switch into. Do I Volt Switch into Salazzle here? Yeah, I don't get Thunder Wave here as he forces the soft boiled, and if he doesn't, I don't think he'd click Thunder Wave there. But here I can just click Sludge Wave. As Quag comes in, I do get a very lucky poison, which is really good because I was not getting a poison on this otherwise, and since I did not have Toxic on this Salazzle like I wanted, this means Fire Spam. Even Sludge Wave spam is pretty decent, but in general, Fire Blast spam is really good. Even Flamethrower is pretty nice, because at this point, if it's basically either forces him to recover when he's only getting a 35% back, or he can double. Or I didn't think Skull was your play, to be honest. I think Skull was a pretty bad play, but I guess he didn't want me to stay in, which is reasonable. But here I think do I just Giga Drain here, or do I knock again? I think I just Giga Drain in case he basically I did not allow Quagsire to recover, therefore Giga Drain covered his recover. I never used to predict a Clef there. Here I just go hard Rotom Frost again. I take Moonblast. I take Thunder Wave and I take Moonblast, which I was concerned about there. I Blizzard there. It does 37. He doesn't reveal leftovers, so I think that reveals his max HP, but it does not reveal his exact set because it doesn't reveal lefties, which means it's still quite possible to be weakness policy. But it reveals Moonlight there, which means he's less likely to be the weakness policy set, but it's possible still. Here I think I U-turn. I just U-turn out on the Clef as it gets in my Salazzle. And here's where the Quag being poisoned is huge, because now here I can just click Fire Blast, I believe. I just clicked Fire Blast. The two KO's Quag. Yep. And I just Fire Blast in the Quag. See, without the poison, that was definitely not 2-hit KOing. He'd also be healthier before. He would not have been at 59 before coming in. He still would have been at like, I don't know, 65, I think. Not sure on that, but no, he would have been at 71, yeah, because he was at 65 after my hit, but poison meant he was that low. Basically now Fire Blast is just extremely free because there's nothing stopping me, because Quag is poisoned. Fire Blast still did plenty to Fable. There's no way you could risk your Fable there. Basically, Fire Blast is absolutely free with the Quagsire poison, so the poison was absolutely huge. But Spec Salazzle gets his first kill as Necrozma comes in, and just go hard Mandibuzz as he gets out with his rocks. He's forced out here. I think I just raw Defog. Nope, get rid of the rocks immediately. Don't want to play a game with rocks in a matchup when I have Salazzle, who's going to kill everything. Here I hard Rotom Frost because I don't have a Volt Switch swap in really, so that was an issue. But brings in Drapion. Here I know I live a knockoff, and I can burn him. I know I live a knockoff into burnt knockoff. No. I do that because I knew I live knockoff basically. Then so I can easily just get my health back. As I also weaken the Drapion as he reveals Black Sludge. He knocks off again. I think I just Wisp here. I missed the first one, which is annoying, but here I just Volt Switch out, I think. Yep, I just Volt Switch out, not allowing anything to come in for free. It gives me an initiative as well, and then Salazzle comes in. Here, I think I just Overheat. Yep, Overheat just picks me a kill. Because Fire Blast as a roll to kill Clef, I don't want to get Thunder Waved. Because obviously he could just soft-boiled spam there. But Overheat guaranteed the kill on Clef, and it guaranteed the kill on something, basically, assuming I hit. Mammothswine comes in. Here I just get my Rotom Frost as Crash. He crashes, and it does 424. Here I've also, okay, as he Icicle crashes again and kills off Rotom. I knew the likelihood of him staying in was, again, relatively high, but my problem was I didn't want to, if I Wisp, I could easily Wisp there, and Wisp was probably the play in hindsight, but I figured he'd still go Clef because you don't want your burnt Mammothswine. and I was more than likely faster, because obviously he was not Choice Scarf. I did assume he'd be Choice Scarf there, but in this matchup, just judging, so I assumed he'd be banded or Life Orb, but after going to Rotom and taking 24, there but he was not banded, and obviously he didn't take Life Orb damage, so I just thought he was like Adamant, because I think that was Adamant damage. So I don't know, this turn got me really confused on what this Mamoswine item was. It might have been Lum, which is why he stayed in there, which would make a ton of sense, but here I just bring in my Helios, because I forget completely about Ice Shard, by the way. As he misclicks here, and I Grass Knot. Oh, he didn't misclick, he says the game messed him up, which I 100% believe, because I know exactly what's happening. I've had that happen, which sucks, but, you know, it's kind of hard, it's hard to play that back, just because, I don't know, and I'm guessing he was just Lum, which is why he stayed in with Mamoswine there, but, I didn't want to play it back, to be honest. I didn't even give the option to, but it was turn 27, I didn't want to play all that back, and something like the burn on Quag was too big to just replay. Which all we'd have to do is, when the Quag comes in, I just Fire Blast, and he just clicked Toxic until he died, obviously. But, I don't know. We just didn't play it back. Anyway, I honestly didn't even think about playing it back, to be honest, but I just Volt Switch here. I expect the Bug Buzz, and even if he Volt Switches out, Dragapult takes it. At this point, Shadow Ball to it KOs Clef. Shadow Ball kills Vikavolt, and Shadow Ball can kill Necrozma, or obviously Shadow Ball to it KOs Necrozma. Here, I kill the Clef. I know Shadow Ball does not kill Necrozma, but Necrozma cannot kill me. Therefore, I have no reason not to just Shadow Ball. As he reveals Cassib Berry, as he Dark Pulses. At this point in 36, I know Shadow Ball kills now. And the option to go Vikavolt, I Shadow Ball this as well, and Shadow Ball cleans up the game. And I 5-0 Easy Bake, which, looking at Team Preview, he really did struggle if he did not have Quagsire with Salazzle. And again, Quagsire getting poisoned was absolutely huge, because it didn't give him anything out of the turn. I do think you should have recovered instead of Scalded on where's the turn? On this turn. Because if I stayed in, my issue with Scald is that I didn't get anything out of the turn from staying in, so I think you should always recover, because even if I opted to stay in, I didn't get anything out of the turn because you just recover it all back. So maybe he just didn't want me I guess he didn't want to allow a free swap into, I don't really know, actually. I feel like if anything, you would Quake there, or Ground Move in general, because you technically be Earth Power, on the Helios potential, just because Scald will actually give me my health back, which I would never go Helios there. Helios is a horrible play, but, like, I don't know, I feel like Scald was just in general a horrible play. I think you knew you needed your health on Quag, and so putting yourself in a situation where you're at 59 and even Sludge Wave to it KOs you, then even if you didn't think about like Flamethrower or Fire coverage, Sludge Wave would still to it KO you at that point. So I don't know. I don't think Scald was your play. I think this game would have probably been a lot closer had you actually had a Quagsire. But again, the poison was absolutely huge. There's no taking away from that. Definitely the misclick, or not the misclick, but the game bugging, and I believe him because I've had that happen in like laddering matches, and it's annoying because you know what you did, and the game just kind of said no. But okay, so my issue is if he Ice Sharded, right, and I died, basically what I'd have to do is I could either go Tangela, which is, I'd probably go, I really don't know, because I don't know what this Mammoth Swine is at that point, because I'm guessing this is a Assault Vest, or I'm, like, basically I wouldn't know whether this was Assault Vest or not, which I think is what I was kind of thinking after, I was thinking either Lum or Assault Vest after staying in with him, but I felt like it was more than likely Lum. But the potential of Assault Vest meant I really couldn't go Salazzle, because Salazzle was still my way of really breaking through him. Because if that Clef got back, which Clef really wouldn't ever get back in this match. The only thing he could get back on was Tangela, but Tangela never had a reason to come out, was the issue. Tangela lost to that, it lost to that, and it lost to that. Therefore, again, Tangela had no reason to come out. The only thing I guess maybe take a hit in Toxic and Necrozma, but at this point you revealed Moonlight and Stealth Route, therefore you're not an offensive set, which is the only scary thing, because otherwise Mandibuzz walls you. So, again, in general, Tangela would never come out, therefore Clef really just cannot get his health back. Maybe clicking Shadow Ball would be the only thing that would get the Clef back. So, but then that allows a hard Salazzle to get the kill, and again, it's very difficult at that point anyway. But again, had he Ice Sharded the series of events, I probably would have just said screw it and went Salazzle and risk the Assault Vest, because the probability of Assault Vest is just too low, I think. I think Lum made a ton more sense after staying in with Memo on the Rotom. So I probably would have just gone that. I would have gotten my kill. Clef would, I guess there's where Clef would have came back. Because I don't... If Fire Blast killed, even Fire Blast, I don't think kills Clef. I think it's a roll. So then, even so, if it forced me to overheat, then the Mamo dies and Clef gets its recovery, or if Fire Blast still killed, and it's a roll, I think in his favor. I think it's like a mid roll. I think it does 45 to 54. I think maybe. I think it was the damage, but it was something like that. But basically, it would have been different had he gotten the Ice Shard off, but I still don't think he would have won. I still think he was in too bad of a position to win. Clef would have been annoying, but if Mamoswine died, basically you had to pick a sack. If he chose not to sack Mamoswine, right, and he opted to sack, say, Necrozma. Necrozma was probably your best sack in general. But, and if you lost Necrozma, then Tangela was absolutely useless. Therefore, Clef really just wouldn't get back at all. Which Tangela probably wouldn't come in on Necrozma anyway. But if I wanted to make use of Tangela, then I could. But then basically Necrozma dies. You bring back in Mamoswine, get your kill. I bring back in Salazzle and get my kill again. If you opt to not bring in your Mamoswine and get your kill and opt to go Clef for the longer game, you get your health back, but then basically I swap and I can probably just sack off Heliolisk, because at this point Necrozma is already dead, but Vikavolt, I don't think I had Hyper Voice, which I think would be the only reason I might keep it, just get a Hyper Voice off of Vikavolt. Vikavolt was not a problem because I have a Salazzle here and Dragon Ball. So, in general, I don't think he would have won had he gotten the Ice Shard off, but I think after the Mamoswine died, it was pretty much a wrap, 100%. I think even had he not gone hard Clef here, I think even then it was still a wrap, because basically I kill one of these two, Vikavolt dead, he goes Clef, Salazzle gets its kill. I don't think it was winnable, to be honest. But maybe it was. But anyway. We pull through, go 2-0. We face Jason, which we have a very long history with. I think we're up. I know we're up. I don't remember exactly how much. I think it's 8-4. I could be wrong on that. Well, no, I think it's 7-5. Because I think Tier 3 Finals is what made it 7-5. So obviously, we're looking to stay ahead of Jason in our mini war, I guess. But Jason's always a tough one, especially if he tries, and I think he's trying. I'm pretty sure he's trying. because I think he's 2-0 up to our match. I'm not 100% on that. I'm 90% sure, but and that's the match. But it was still a fun one. Obviously the 5-0, but it was still a decent match. Not much hacks, but I guess you could, like, I know the Quag got poisoned, and I guess that was really all the hack that I needed to win. But I think Easy Bake probably could have done a few things differently. Primarily just getting the Quag back. I think that was the real big misplay, was scalding instead of recovering your Quag back. And I think you probably could have played your Necrozma differently, just because Necrozma was kind of dead weight here. It's the rock set. I think you needed Knockoff or Toxic or something to punish the Mandibuzz, because otherwise Mandibuzz hard-walled you. And I'm assuming he had something, but that something was never revealed, therefore. And he was also Dark Pulse, so he was Moonblast, Stealth Rock, and Moonlight, Stealth Rock, Dark Pulse. Therefore, at that point, he doesn't have anything for Mandibuzz. Therefore, I don't know whether he just couldn't touch Mandibuzz. He gave me a free defog every time. He really just didn't have anything to punish me defogging, which was the whole issue in this match. But it was still a fun one, relatively good one. And yeah, I will see you guys next week versus Jason.